in a while notice, by God's grace, every now and then it becomes clear that God knows what He's doing. Have you noticed this? Once in a while you realize, oh, there's something more than I can account for. God knows what He's doing. Months and months and months ago, when I laid out as the calendar rolls, it just seems like God's design that on this Sunday, just before our election day, we should come to this passage of Scripture that speaks to us about the millennial reign of Christ and reminds us, as the chorus that we just sang reminds us, that God is in charge. Always has been, always will be. I remind myself, I don't know how many times in the course of a week, to things unanticipated, the way you and I do. I was driving down 95, somewhere approaching Augusta, Friday afternoon. It was just after dusk. And I noticed brake lights up ahead of me, so you want to be aware of what's going on around you, especially you want to be aware of what's going on in front of you. So when you see brake lights, you want to know what's going on. And as I was slowing down, because brake lights mean slow down usually, slowing down, and I noticed cars stopped on the right shoulder, and I noticed tail lights where there shouldn't be tail lights. Down in the median strip, off the road to the left, off of the lane we call the hammer lane in some contexts. And that car taillights down there where they shouldn't be were still moving. And I said, I'd better pay close attention to what's happening. And I don't know why, but a car had gone off the road onto that grassy median, probably 10 feet below the level of the road, and they were still moving and still moving pretty fast, and I could see that they were working their way back up toward the highway, and I could see that I did a little geometry in my head, and I could see that if they got up onto the highway, they were going to get to the same part of the highway that I was going to get to at approximately the same time. And that can't work. I'm aware of science enough to know that two objects with mass cannot occupy the same space at the same time safely. So I did what any sensible driver would do. Now, some of you might do the opposite. Some of you might say, the only way out of this is to go faster. But I'm not aggressive like that. My thinking is, I'm going to slow down, and while my foot is on the brake, my hand is on the horn. Not angry, of course. Just, I want you to know that I'm here. And by the grace of God, I managed not to die in that occasion, as you can clearly see. How many times do things like that happen in your life and you're not aware of it? We're coming up on an important decision in our country, but God already knows. And He's not already planning what to do next. He's not sitting in private counsel in heaven's boardroom figuring out, what do we do now? He already knows. He already knew. He knew before time began, because he doesn't see in the stream of time like you and I are bound. He already knows. He knows what's going to happen this afternoon. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow, Tuesday. He knows what's going to happen in January when our new president is inaugurated, all assuming that Christ's return has not already happened. So I just want to reassure you as we talk about the millennial reign of Christ,